What? A small and honest mistake?
This is Mike's echo chamber of misinformation, where he's the source of this illogical theory about World Trade Center 7 and the BBC report, and then he features a video that is using him as the source. And here's my letter, another attempt to try to reason with him. Mike, I'm making a new video where I will again be publicly pleading with you to stop spreading your destructive irrationality with regard to 9/11 and a building that just happened to be near the targets. Why can't you do the bare minimum which is expected of civilized people and respond to me about this serious topic? You continually sabotage efforts at dealing with the wrongs of the world by throwing a monkey wrench into the public discourse. It is irrational to think secret agents would think it necessary to contact the BBC and tell them to report that World Trade Center 7 had collapsed and risk exposing the plot. I mean, wouldn't the people at the BBC wonder why someone is telling them in advance to report that a building had collapsed? When the BBC could and would simply report the collapse when they saw it collapse. Do you really not understand how irrational it is to think secret agents contacted the BBC? Rather than understanding that with all the predictions being made by the Firemen that afternoon was the reason people were expecting World Trade Center 7 to collapse. And what obviously happened is one of those predictions of will was misreported as has. You can even find Aaron Brown make that mistake live on CNN.
We are getting information now that one of the other buildings, Building 7, in the World Trade Center complex is on fire and has either collapsed or is collapsing.
What really happened is that with all the predictions Firemen were making to the media, and which the media had been reporting all afternoon, someone misreported the will as has. Probably someone at Reuters was flipping through the TV channels and caught half of what Aaron Brown had said, and assumed what had been predicted by Firemen all afternoon had finally happened. The people who have been misled by your site, including Jesse Ventura, deserve to know how unreasonable you have been with this. In what world do you think it is okay to refuse to even respond to someone who is trying to reach out to you and communicate with you on this serious topic? You are pouring salt in the wounds. I find it mind-boggling that you would be this stubborn and cruel. Do you think your readers will be happy to learn that you are absolutely refusing to even discuss your BBC theory, which you have been pushing for years? Do you want your legacy to be that you are known as the guy who absolutely refused to be reasoned with? Do you want your legacy to be that you are known as the guy who did an enormous amount of damage to the peace movement because you misled so many people away from those who were thinking logically about 9/11? I continually respond to people asking me about this, and several of them I have convinced of the reality of the situation, but it is a huge burden to be spending so much time working to undo the damage you have done. I would like to stop the source of this destructive irrationality that I am continually bombarded with. Could you please act like a decent human being and respond to me? Tom.
There's no way they can stabilize it.
Even Dylan Avery doesn't think BBC's error is suspicious.
Do you think that's suspicious?
Not really. I didn't even to be honest with you, I didn't even want to put that line in.
He's also backed away from claiming 9/11 was an inside job. Some of these conspiracists have changed their minds, but they aren't taking responsibility for what they've done, and they aren't helping to undo the damage they've inflicted on the peace movement. As I've said, I'd like to stop the source of this damage, so please send this to Mike and ask him to respond. You can use the YouTube tools below this video to email him a link to this video. And you can use those YouTube tools to share it with others, because we need to confront real wrongs and not allow irrationality to undermine our efforts. Don't make a copy of this video, just use the YouTube tools to share it. You can click here first and then share the playlist of more logic-based videos.
There's no way they can stabilize it.